Welcome everybody to Ties and Tags, the only podcast that's squeaky clean. Is that what we decided the phrase was?
No, but I don't know if I'm going to stop you if you keep changing it up every time.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the game so that we can do introductions. I didn't realize I had gone that far on the menu. Okay, so we have another guest.
Hey.
Cody, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us where you served, things like that. Create something interesting about your mission.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Cody. I served in the North Carolina Charlotte mission. Something I guess interesting about that is that was where like the Andy Griffith show was filmed.
Oh.
And so I didn't actually go to the town. I was like a mile outside of the town. But biggest regret. But.
Was it English speaking?
So I was Spanish, but I also did a lot of English too.
Okay.
Because when you're in America,
Yeah.
you can speak Spanish, but you're probably going to do English too.
Yeah.
So. It's funny to me that you say not seeing where that show is filmed is your greatest regret, because my brother served right outside New York City, but never got to go to New York City, so his greatest regret was going to New York. But it just wasn't quite there. Cool. Well, welcome. We're happy to have you on. So I guess I'm going to introduce the game, and then maybe play the first level, and then our goal is just tell fun mission stories. That's kind of where we're at. So this game, Super Monkey Ball, originally came out on the GameCube, early 2000s, and I've got this one's Banana Mania, which is a remake of it. And yeah, the idea is, unpause it. The idea is you don't move the character, you tilt the stage. And so you can kind of see how like the movement's a little interesting and different. And it's because you're tilting the stage, not the character. So it's fun, but the goal is essentially every level you go through, and you got to get through the goal and break the ribbon.
Are bananas required, or are they?
Bananas are not required.
Okay.
I think there's a shop in this game, and that's where I bought Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's it. So the idea was we do a level, pass the controller. If you fall off, pass the controller, and we'll just see how far we can get. Just a nice casual
You
game.
got a minute. Okay.
Yeah, you got a minute for most levels. I think there's some that are like 30 seconds, but
So Cody, while you're focusing on something, tell us the funniest story that you can possibly think of from your mission.
yeah.
You know,
Concentrate.
it's funny because actually I'm in a leadership class and we had to write a case. It's like a business case, and I did it on this thing that happened. Basically, we were on exchanges, and it was Halloween, and I was there with the two elders that were in the area. So I was there's the three of us, and me and one of the elders were talking, and they're in a town home, and so then after we were done talking, he went back upstairs. Then he came down and he's like, "Elder, my companion's locked himself in the bedroom, and he won't come out." And we were just like, what? And so we go upstairs and we're like, "Hey, Elder, like, what's going on?" He's like, "Guys, I'm not coming out. Like, you guys just go without me." And so we were like, "Okay, well, we can't leave you." And thankfully, his companion was then like, "Elder, like, I need my clothes." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not finished getting ready." And so we hear him sigh, and then we hear a dresser move from in front of the door. And then so we're like, okay, he's gonna like hopefully open the door, we can get, talk to him. And then all of a sudden, we look down and we see a white shirt being pushed from underneath the door, followed by some pants, and then some socks. But I realized right then, and I think this was honestly a prompting, but I was like, the shoes are what's left. And I was like, he's gonna open the door and then close it as fast as he can. And I was like, I have to put my foot in the door, like, I've got to stop him. And so that's exactly what happened. I got my foot in the door, we got in, and we talked, and we're like, talked through some stuff, and we had a good day after that. But that was crazy experience. I was like, I did not see that coming from today.
Yeah. Did I have companions lock me out? I just imagine. Oh, there are some levels where you have to collect all the bananas as the goal.
Okay.
There has to have been some companion that wanted to lock me out.
Well, I'm sure, one and two.
One and two is a little
yeah.
different than actually doing it.
Yeah. Well, that's not the type of crazy story I was expecting.
I had my first companion. One of my good friends for my mission, he had this same trainer. He was a Jamaican guy, and he had a very thick accent. There's one in like the very corner out there. He had a very thick accent, and like even with the people I was serving around, like the Jamaicans, I was like, what is he saying? And they're like, we don't know either. But like, I later learned that he just kind of like gave up on communicating with his trainees.
Oh my god.
And like he wouldn't tell me anything. He kind of I wouldn't know if the people we were teaching like were members or if they were investigators, and I didn't know where they came from. I didn't know their names. And then I talked to my my friend that I met about a year later on my mission. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. And he finally. What the heck?
It's bonus level.
Okay. He kind of gave me context for like, he's like, oh, you met the guy that has like the pigs? Yeah, that guy's name was Frank, and we met him this way. And it's like, wow, I didn't know if he was a member. I just knew he had pigs, and I couldn't tell what he was saying, and I couldn't tell what my companion was saying. That was my first transfer, and then he kind of like he was kind of I will let you flounder and you will grow from it. Not just in lessons, like sometimes he would like leave me. Yeah, that was an interesting first transfer.
I think sometimes you need that.
I think so too.
It's gonna do that.
But not like, not like on the street.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't me, but his companion after me, his companion turned around and was like, no one's here. Where's my companion?
Oh, you just locked yourself in.
Oh, did I? Like, actually, is there like no like?
You chose the short path.
Short
You got
path?
You got 14 seconds.
What is happening?
So there were different sized paths.
Oh,
And you chose the one that.
I thought something was gonna move.
Yeah, I remember when I, first area, so I was Spanish, but it was also an English area. And my companion would be like, here, you answer the phone. So I'd answer the phone, and they'd speak Spanish, and I was like, I have no idea what they're saying. And so then he'd say, okay, this person's English. And I'd answer the phone, and they were Southern, I had no idea what they were saying. And I was just like, how can I do this if I don't even understand the English people?
Did you have good quality phones, or was it like a Nokia phone where you picked it up and you just heard?
Yep.
That's how mine was.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like we got good quality phones by the end. I don't know if we started with it.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
my phone had Nokia bricks the entire time.
Yeah, I was a Nokia missionary, but like right after I left, they got smartphones.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah, and then COVID hit, and they became like social media missionaries.
Yeah.
I think I started with Nokia, but then we got smartphones.
Did the missionaries compete for the best snake score?
No.
We didn't have Snake.
Oh my gosh! I was not expecting the camera to go under me like that. Is that gonna rise? Oh, does it just rise up when I hit it?
I think.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's the things on the right
Things on the right?
or on the side.
Oh,
Those
that.
things. Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
You see, Super Monkey Ball is a game of skill.
Oh.
Game of skill immediately falls off. So, I guess leading into this, Cody, what was the craziest lesson you ever taught?
Craziest.
Because
lesson.
crazy seems to be a topic with you. What's the craziest lesson you were a part of?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Because we try and be serious in most of the lessons, but sometimes things happen.
Should I offer a crazy lesson story while you think?
Yeah.
So there was this one member.
You should just offer a crazy lesson story, even if I am talking.
Alright, I'll keep it in mind next time you're sharing a story. Oh my gosh, I can't end it already. So we were teaching a member, who is like this is in a fishing village, so he was a spear fisherman, and it was, oh, I didn't realize I ended it. He had the ability to talk about nothing for long lengths of time. I feel like it's a common trait among people that are taught by missionaries.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing we look for.
Those things move with the. I see.
Is that how they move?
Yeah, when you tilt it.
Oh, I always thought it was random.
We went to his house on a very, very rainy day, and this was right next to the ocean. So like every body of water was connected, and all the roads were clay, so no water was absorbed by the ground, and there were literal rivers with fish going through them, covering the roads. And this fisherman guy, he's like, I've seen this before. Fish rain from the sky every once in a while. Like, okay. He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, fish rain from the sky. Like, I've seen it before. It happens. And that's why there's fish in the road. You sure it's not because you're right next to the ocean? It's like connected. It's like, no, they rain from the sky. We had a long conversation about that, whether or not we wanted to. And then he starts talking about how passionate he's about Christianity, and he looks us dead in the eye. He's like, I love the story of Hercules. I loved how Hercules was so strong. He's so brave. Hercules was a man of God. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, he took the jawbone and was able to kill all those Philistines, and we look him dead in the eye and we're like, Samson? Oh,
Hercules.
I don't think he picked up that we were trying to correct him. He just looks at us again and he goes, Hercules was a man of God. And then at this point we've been at his place for like an hour because we just can't we can't get him to stop the conversation and like say a prayer and we leave. Oh, you just need like momentum to
Yeah.
Okay. And we say like, hey, we need to leave. Can you say a prayer right now? He's like, sure, but let me tell you about this thing. And then we're like, he's like, no, we need to leave right now. We gotta teach someone. He's like, no, I need to tell you this first. And like, we need to tell you this. I was like, okay, but hear me out. Heavenly Father, thank you for that. He just interrupts himself with the prayer.
Wow.
The closest I ever got to is I remember there was this guy trying to Bible bash, but I was new in the mission and I was just excited to have somebody talking to me. And so I carried on this conversation and my companion's like, look, dude, we don't need helpers. He's like, look, dude, that wasn't a good showing. And I was like, what do you mean? I got to talk to someone. They were interested.
Yeah,
This is where Monkey Ball gets hard. The first few levels, it's like go in a straight line.
Yeah.
And then these levels, it's like we're going to have bending.
It's tough because like, I am, I play a lot of Nintendo stuff. I am very used to having one joystick control camera and movement, but it's messing with me right now.
Does the other joystick control the camera on this?
I don't think so. If it does, I'm scared to try it right now.
Because as a kid, I didn't realize that cameras were a thing in games.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it totally controls it.
Oh, wow.
Well,
And so like I've learned that a lot of games that I play totally have cameras. Like Mario Sunshine, you can change the camera in that game. It helps a lot.
this might be too personal of a question.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any, because like Revelation and like comfort from on high and things like that, it is very personal and it is meant for you. So sometimes you receive it in very strange ways.
Yes.
Have you ever had like I can't think of the right term. It's just like hilarious prompting or comfort out of context.
Okay.
You can jump?
Yeah, bees jump.
What the heck?
The original game didn't have it, but I'm tired of this
Obviously.
level.
Well, that's what I was gonna do.
Okay, well now that we know that.
Now that we know bees jump. Yeah, so I might have already talked about this a little bit, but so I had one instance where we were teaching.
I wanna try what you're going for.
Jumping in this game is like
Yeah,
a
I
whole
think I
other
just didn't
thing.
commit. You committed.
I love the reveal halfway through that jumping is like a thing in this game. So we're teaching this guy. His wife had been baptized like 2 years prior. Oh yeah, this is a jumping level.
Oh my goodness.
His wife was baptized 2 years prior, as well as his daughter, but he and his son weren't baptized.
I forgot which button was B. I'm sorry.
I'm trying it.
It's so hard to tell stories while
You're teaching this guy.
Yeah, so we're teaching this guy.
Something about a wife.
His wife was a recent convert.
Okay.
So was his daughter. He and his son hadn't. But the main thing is, he had always been too drunk whenever the missionaries came over to like have a conversation or to like pay attention. And so he was very much against the church.
Okay, just hard. Okay.
So, I have to concentrate on this.
No, tell us right now.
So, while I was in the area, he went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, look, your heart is going to fail if you keep drinking. You have to stop drinking. And so doctor's orders, no more alcohol. And so he's finally sober enough to listen. So, this is the worst thing ever. We're... Okay, so
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
this is so spiritual of a story to tell while falling off in Monkey Ball.
Yeah. So continue.
So there's this guy.
Yeah.
He had a wife.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna close my eyes and tell the story.
Yeah.
We teach this guy for like a month or so,
Mm-hmm.
and we got him to admit that he believes the church is true. He believes the Book of Mormon. He believes it's called of God, but he won't come to church. He won't commit to being baptized. And we were like, why? And he was like, I just don't want to. And me and my companion both felt inspired in that moment to just tell him, look, you're being prideful. You're holding back blessings from your wife and children. This is on you. If you don't change, we've done our part, and the missionaries should never teach you again if you're not willing to change. And he was sad, but he was like, I understand that. That makes sense. And that was a hard thing to do. You get a lot of missionaries that will talk about like, oh, I chastised this one investigator. Don't chastise investigators. Just because they don't understand what you're trying to say isn't a reason to attack them, unless the Spirit tells you to. And so, yeah, I just got super into it with this guy, but he was good about it, and we left on good terms, but it was very much call him out.
Yeah.
And so I ended up transferring a couple weeks later. 6 months later, I go to the mission Christmas party, which is the thing. And the elder in that area goes, you'll never guess who came to church. And the guy was baptized like 3 weeks after I got home from my mission. And then when my wife and I got engaged, and I was on Facebook, like posting engagement photos and that sort of stuff, I found photos of him and his wife going through the temple.
Wow.
Wow.
And so like, that was very much a revelation moment where it's like, you don't normally do that. You don't want to be that missionary, but you just got told to do it, and I went for it, and this guy's life changed. I'm not the missionary that baptized him. He's got closer relation with those missionaries that finally did baptize him, and with the Lord that was active enough and worked with him enough to get him to the temple. But
Yeah.
you do your part, and that's one of my favorite things when I'm mission. I've got plenty of converts that I'm happy of and proud of, but this guy's one of the ones I'm proudest of the most, and I never baptized him. It's not about that. It's about helping people change.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I was talking to my wife before this, and she was just saying, she was like, just because, like I was saying, someone that I had taught my mission, I was like, I helped them to come to church, because like this thing happened, and she was like, people make their own choices, but she was like, just because maybe in the end something didn't happen the way you wanted, or maybe before something didn't happen the way you wanted, that doesn't make it any less of a miracle. Mm-hmm. And so just because you weren't the one in the area when he actually got baptized, it's like, yeah, it doesn't make it any less.
I like that. It's not any less of a miracle. My dad always talks about how even if you go on your mission and you accomplish nothing, it's worth it, because you being in that spot allowed other missionaries to be in spots where they were successful. Which I think there's some flaws to that. I think,
yeah, like you shouldn't be like, I did nothing on my mission.
I went and I slept in every day, but it was good because somebody else got to be a good missionary. Yeah. That's not how it works. If you're not going to work, don't go on a mission.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like my Patriarchal Blessing said, like the people you teach will like reach out to you. They'll look for you for a source of guidance. But literally my entire mission, everyone that ended up, getting baptized, they were basically ready before they got to us. Like they I've had one guy flat out say, like, if you don't let me get baptized, I will fight you.
Yeah. It's never about the missionaries. Missionaries
no.
shouldn't ever be the reason they get baptized.
I was about, oh, okay, in a different context, I was about to say it's about the missionaries. But, like, the people that I learned that, like, would, like, look to me for guidance ended up being missionaries. Like, the investigators I had, like, they asked questions, but then they you know, made relationships with members of the church, not the missionaries, and so I didn't really talk with them much, and they were ready to grow with the friends that they had rather than the missionaries that they approached. They said they wanted to be baptized with. But then I had a lot of missionaries on my mission that were like, you know, the beginning of my mission, I'm an insecure blob that is terrified to open my mouth, and then towards the end of my mission, I'm, you know, whoa.
Oh, I like this one.
It's a trouble. Oh, do you have to go through those? You have to catch up to them and go through those things?
You have to catch it!
I had a bunch of missionaries on my mission that were brand new towards the end of my mission, and they'd be awkward and scared, and they'd be like, "You had this figured out from day one. Don't tell me that that I'm gonna be have this figured out." Wait, do you have to stop now?
There's multiple.
Can you catch any of them? Or
Yeah, you can catch any.
Can you take a shortcut?
Probably.
Whoa! Yeah, you can.
That's not a shortcut.
I'm taking a shortcut.
Go to the right, straight to the right. Yeah.
That's the left.
Is there one at the very end?
But they're gonna
They're
come
gonna
down.
They're gonna come get you.
So stop. Or die.
Oh, I was expecting like the jump to take me somewhere. I don't want to wait. But yeah, all these missionaries on my mission. When it get dark, oh, it's a shadow. They just say things like you can't tell me that I'm gonna be good at this and I'm gonna enjoy this one day. If I am like so much more scared and awkward than you ever were. You had this figured out from day one, and I was like, you have no idea. You have no idea what it was like for the people at the end of the mission when they were at the beginning of the mission. There was a big change.
Yeah.
Especially because your mission changes.
Yeah.
Like, mission presidents get replaced, missionaries go home. The culture that your mission has at the beginning is often just so different than the culture from the end. And I will say that's something that I was surprised about with my mission, is I didn't expect to interact with other missionaries so much. Like, because growing up, you're always told, oh, you better get used to being with people because you'll have a companion. You'll be stuck with them all the time. But at the same time, it's like, you're stuck with your companion, but you don't really feel that. But you do, feel like multiple times a week you're with other missionaries.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you're living in an apartment with another companionship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you develop these relationships with other missionaries, and those will carry with you your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're never your companion. I have one district leader who I think is probably the person that did the most good for me on my mission. Just because he bothered to listen to me and to listen to my problems and actually did something to help with the problems, as opposed to just saying, well, live with it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think one of my companions that I'm closest with after my mission is the one I had for 2 weeks. There's also the one that I had for 8 months, pretty close to him, but when I stay in most contact with, yeah, he's my companion for 2 weeks, and then we got emergency transfer.
Yeah. One of the people I've kept most in touch with, he was never my companion. He was in the next area over for a couple of transfers, and that was it. We didn't see each other again. But we kept in touch throughout the mission, and when we came home, we ended up being roommates. Like, we signed up for it. It was planned. But yeah, you just develop these relationships. And
Ruined
you also,
story. It's supposed to be unplanned.
Oh, yeah. But then you also get companionships where it's like, you become good friends with them. And then you have the companions that you hope you never see. You don't want them to go near you. Like, you get all of it, but it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's interesting. When you're in the mission, things are one way, but when you're out of the mission, the way, I don't know, just things are different. Your relationships with other people are different than they were when you're on your mission. Yeah.
Some of my companions mean different things to me now than they did when we were companions, because I was an idiot.
Oh, we're all idiots.
Sorry to my trainer. I'm sure most missionaries say that.
No!
How do you guys feel like now that it's been a few years that you've been home? How do you feel like now that you're kind of like, all right, I've got this life I'm doing now. I'm not just like right back home from my mission. How do you guys think your mission has or is impacting you right now?
You know, Cody, we're supposed to be asking the questions.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
How do you?
How a mission changed me is I don't
Here,
take
I'll
crap
play
from
my-
anyone
Oh,
now.
no.
I'll play my Uno reverse card again. You answer the. No. Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Mitchell will
I
answer
don't
because
know.
I'm playing. I think the biggest impact is just because you don't think about it in your day-to-day life all the time. But I'm a different person because of the mission. But also, like, I don't think my marriage is where I'm at. I don't think a lot of my friendships would be where they're at now if it wasn't for the mission. I think there's good and bad that comes with all of it. But I just think I've gone a lot farther in life than I ever expected I would. And a lot of it is because the mission shaped me up for it.
Yeah, I had one friend on my mission that told a really, oh my gosh, it's like a silly story, but it kind of describes how I feel about how a mission changed me. Where he was saying that he was talking with his dad. They were talking about something dumb he doesn't remember. He said they were probably talking about saying like who out there is strong enough to bench press a truck, and his dad is an active member of the church. He has a testimony of Jesus Christ, and his dad said like no one's strong enough to do that, and he said, well, Jesus could do it, and he's like, no, someone real, and like that was just like out of instinct. Like he had the testimony in Jesus Christ, but like sometimes it's easy for us to put Christ in the fiction section of our head where there's like the Force and the One Ring to rule them all, and just like where those stories go. But I think a mission helped me take Christ out of the fiction section of my head and help me realize that he is actually a friend and actually involved in my life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like that because for me, I've had a similar thing with church history, where the way that I view the church is so different now, where like there are moments where like I might question just like how do I know that like Christ really was here, but I gained such a strong testimony of the Book of Mormon on my mission that I'm like, look, I know that there's controversial things in the church and all that, but I have no doubt in my mind that the church is from God and there is a priesthood lineage. And a lot of that is because I went on a mission and I experienced firsthand what it means to be a member of the church and to be following Christ. And so it makes a huge difference where like I would never have this type of testimony had I not gone on the mission.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you ever show the hour-long Joseph? Dang it! The Joseph Smith movie to investigators?
I had one companion that tried to set it up. And we brought like a little DVD player that we had in all our apartments for the purpose of watching The District.
Were they the same DVD players? Like we
I'm
had
sure they
really cheap Chinese portable DVD players.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was going through the instruction manuals that came with them because it was just really poorly translated. I hope I can dig that up someday. I think I took pictures of some of the pages. And then they'd always break on us, and so we'd I had one companion that tried to be an electrical engineer, and he's like, I just shot 12 volts through this thing upside down, and now it's fried. I need a new one.
Those things broke all the time.
Yeah. But okay, so Joseph Smith movie, there's a theatrical version, and then there's it's basically a director's cut version where it's this is what we wanted it to be. It's only 5 minutes difference, but it makes a huge difference depending on which one you show. Because there's a scene where Joseph Smith is in Liberty Jail, and he's in the director's cut version. He's receiving D&C 121, very comforting words, and he's almost looking happy in Liberty Jail while everybody's suffering. In the theatrical version, there's big squares.
Hey, you're doing good. So
You probably could have just jumped straight to the thing.
Show me jumping straight to the thing. In the theatrical version, instead of receiving, instead of God's voice saying, giving comforting words at the time, you see Joseph Smith crying in Liberty Jail, and you hear, that voice that kids do when they suddenly learn, I can sound like a monster, and yet I sound like this. You hear someone doing that voice, and I think it's supposed to be saying.
Is it the devil?
Yeah, and it's basically saying like, there's no such thing as prophecies or revelation, and then it ends the scene.
That's like a Harry Potter. There's no such thing as magic.
But it's like, it's not. It doesn't. I mean, it's an adult saying it, but it's the voice that 5-year-olds do when they learn they can sound like a monster. And they're like, how did this? So we always have to be very careful about which Joseph Smith movie we showed to someone. There's a bunch of others.
That's an interesting thing. Is there's this whole line of like church movies that every missionary apartment has. Just like that. There's the movie of the guy that worked on the Salt Lake Temple, and
He's
he
only a stone cutter.
Yeah, and he like didn't have a leg or something. I forget.
He lost his leg because a cow kicked it and they had to amputate.
Yeah. And it's like
I watched
it's such a vibe. Just all these old church videos that nobody.
Did you watch the phone call? The one about confidence?
I
from
didn't.
the 70s?
I didn't. I know that's church pretty. That one's a little more controversial because missionaries shouldn't be watching movies and stuff. But I know all about it.
My second mission president had a list of approved movies. I had an interview with him, and I was feeling pretty down at this transfer. And he's like, forgive me when I do his impression, but my mission president was from Georgia. He had a very thick Southern accent. He had a thick Southern accent, and he had the energy of a Baptist preacher 100% of the time, and he had a slight lisp. And I love him. And everyone had competitions of trying to do impressions of him, but like, what? It definitely wasn't in the original game.
Yeah, it was.
I was explaining my situation, and it was like, I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty worthless right now. And he like sits there for a while, and he's like, Elder McCann, you know what you should do? Have you ever watched the movie It's a Wonderful Life? You should watch that movie. Okay. And then I watched it on the P-Day, and it was like, wow, that's exactly what I needed.
My mission president would pick a Christmas movie for us to watch every year.
Oh, yeah?
He wouldn't do Star Wars, which I was really upset about.
I was like, where did the course go? Did you see that?
I always argued that, like Star Wars always releases around Christmas time, because this was back, I left on my mission after Force Awakens. So I wanted to see Last Jedi.
You didn't go for the Star Wars Christmas special?
Oh, I should have. But I tried to convince him to do that, but no, he chose The Grinch. And if you watch that movie, it was directed, I want to say it's Josh Whedon. And Josh Whedon directed the first two
Jim
Avengers.
Carrey one?
Yeah.
Okay.
He directed the first two Avengers movies. And he has this thing that he likes to do that is kind of aged and outdated and inappropriate, where the male character falls on top of the female character. And it's a funny moment because he's his face.
Yeah.
And it's in like Age of Ultron, like they do it with Black Widow. And it's like, that's a very dated thing, like not necessarily the type of thing that we want to endorse. But my mission president chooses this movie, and a lot of the Filipinos hadn't seen it before. And we're just watching, and like, everyone's kind of just like, yeah, it's nice to watch a movie, but we don't really care about this. And then this thing happens, and the Filipino missionaries went crazy. They thought it was the funniest thing on earth that our mission president chose this film with this weird, outdated thing. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so I'll always remember that. And then I don't remember what we watched the other year, but I know it was a different film. I remember that.
Why do those things look like solar panels?
Because now we're in space. We were underwater
they disappear.
We were underwater for a while. Now we're in space.
I see.
One of these levels like this, you can just hold straight from the beginning, and you land and you get through the goal. But like it's like a Rube Goldberg machine is what it feels like. But you can just hold straight. I wonder if it's this one.
Not this one.
Nope, it's not this one.
Have you guys seen the newest Grinch movie?
I haven't.
The animated one?
It's actually pretty good, but what I really like is there's a lot of Christmas carols in it that are Christian.
Really?
And it kind of, when I'm always just kind of like, they don't do that anymore. And I'm like, they didn't have to do that. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't really love Illumination, but I thought they did a good job with that.
I feel like Illumination's not the worst animated studio.
Well, they're not.
Mario movie.
It might be Blue Sky, but I really don't like.
I'm definitely not a fan.
I haven't liked an Illumination movie since the first Despicable Me. Like
that
I
first
was
Despicable Me movie is really good. The second
It
one's
is.
alright. I like the second.
I don't know. They made the announcement for the Mario movie. I think that's what you're saying. I just it spins. Oh my goodness. I got disappointed when the Illumination was doing it. So if I jump, the hole's bigger.
I found out recently that at one point the creator of Gravity Falls was slated to write and direct the Mario movie.
Huh. Could have worked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's too creative to do a movie like that where like they want you to like do their version of Mario. I don't think Illumination got enough creative input because Mario is such a special character.
Could be. Because like if you watched any of the commentary, all the directors and writers, they're like, we managed to put in this reference, and we're really proud of like making everything tied together. Okay. I like movies with stories.
No.
I didn't realize you slowed down.
Okay, so wait like 8 seconds.
Have you guys weird foods? We've never talked about that yet.
Weird foods.
On your mission?
Okay, everybody that knows I served in the Philippines is going to bring up the loot. It's fermented chicken egg.
Did you have it and did you like it?
I tried. It touched my tongue and I said no. And it came out. And so I haven't technically eaten it.
Really?
It has touched my lips, but it has not entered my stomach.
The only thing that I could not eat on my mission is boiled okra. Ladyfingers. They look like long green peppers, but they are filled with mucus. Like it is like clear runny snot on the inside, and it is viscous and it is disgusting. And I couldn't eat it. And it's just a boiled vegetable. I had boiled goat head soup, which is called manish water, and it's just up to chance what's in the water. It could be brains, it could be teeth. I've had curried chicken foot and chicken foot soup, which are actually pretty good. I've had like conch, like the slug that lives in a conch shell, curried. That one, I wouldn't say it was good, but it was bearable. No! But I could not. The only thing I couldn't eat was the okra.
See, you should have, because I was in the South, and so they had okra a lot.
Did you have it fried?
It was fried
I had it
okra,
fried
so
and it was fine.
Yeah, fried, that's good.
The mucus is gone when it's fried. But
Yeah.
boiled is just disgusting.
I just remember one time we were helping this Liberian lady in one of the wards. She wanted to make a dish for a ward party, and she called it peanut butter soup.
I heard peanut butter soup.
And
Guess
so
it's
we.
not
I don't remember what's in it. There is peanut butter in it, but
Oh, really?
when we were helping her make it, and my companion had an allergy.
Oh.
And so he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get some Benadryl," but he's like, "Oh, I'll just get kids Benadryl. That won't make you sleepy." And he drank like half of it or something. And so he was asleep. I was there like with this like 70, 80-year-old Liberian lady, just like, I don't understand what she's saying, trying to help her make peanut butter soup, and I'm just like, this was not well thought through.
Oh man.
Hurry up! 10, 9, 8,
I'm gonna count how many half rotations before I spin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 is probably the time.
17, 18.
ready, go!
1, 1, 1, 4, 5,
6,
6,
7,
6,
8,
7,
9,
7.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh!
On the left. I didn't see the count though.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Go now.
17.
Did you jump there at the end?
I did. That's how I survived the last time. So I guess you can change. Well, now we can't count it.
I love the jumping. Just the animation of them in a ball and they just like, blah.
Were there any like funny trends of cooking that's different in the U.S. than there were in the places you served? Because like in Jamaica, every drink was really, really sweet, and every meal was really, really sweet. And like we'd ask, like, what did you put in this? Because there's a lot of exotic fruits, and we thought it'd just be like a fruit. And they're like, I put this flavored syrup in the juice and this entire bag of sugar.
and you're like, oh.
It's like, that's why it tastes good.
This
And
is a
then,
good jumping one.
and then I think, jumping. I got this. I can do this entire maze
You got
in
60
1 minute.
seconds,
I
go
know,
for
there's
it.
no way.
I don't think we really have the skill to have gone this far, to be completely honest.
Without jumping.
Yes, I cheated many a level.
Well, it's time for me to redeem myself. If I can... Nope, okay.
Alright, I'm jumping.
And then... I lost, like, any ability to be critical about food on my mission because everything was covered in ketchup and barbecue sauce. Like, we went to one member and we're like, this is unusually good. This chicken is really good. What did you put on it? She's like, I put ketchup and barbecue sauce on it. I guess that explains why. But I think that was one of the unexpected blessings of my mission. It was that before my mission, I was a super picky eater, and I felt like I was given the capacity to eat the food that was given to me.
Yeah.
And now I can eat whatever, except okra.
Yay, that was the final level.
Why did they even make these levels? In basic or in?
In Monkey Ball 1.
Oh, did they combine
There's
games?
2 games combined,
Okay.
yeah. That's why there's a story mode, is the second one had story mode.
Oh, okay.
Did you have any interesting encounters while tracting?
Oh, of
Okay,
course.
Speaking of interesting encounters, I have an alien story, but you should tell your story first.
What?
Oh, I don't know. The first one I remember is just like we were walking in the sky, beautiful sunset. He's like, "Look at that sunset." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "See the sky." I'm like, "Yeah, it's really beautiful." He's like, "I made that." He's like, "I painted that," and we're just like, "Wow." And he's like, "Yeah, I did that." And we're like, "Okay, good for you." And we're like, "Weed much?" And sure enough, yeah. But that.
I was gonna say that sounds like a very familiar experience.
Yeah, so that was not an uncommon experience.
Uh-huh.
It's just that's one I just always remember just because I was not expecting him to be like, I made that. I was just like, oh, that.
We had a lot of times like that where we're like we something about living prophets. We're like, do you believe that there are prophets on the earth today? Oh my God! They're like, of course I do.
I'm
I
one
am.
of them.
It's like, all right, here's a chastity pamphlet. We'll just keep walking.
So, my alien story. I had... So, the bouquet is a word that means just like rice field. It's
Okay.
like if you've seen Avengers Infinity War, the field that Thanos walks through at the end, that's a rice field in the Philippines. And it's a bouquet.
Okay.
They look very different at night.
We went to the Philippines.
Yeah, that's where he went. He went to the Philippines. So they look very different at night, and one of the elders that transferred into my last zone came from a Bukit area, where essentially he's just living in a rice field.
Was this the guy that came from an island?
No, that was
He
my
came from a
favorite
different planet with Thanos.
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
already
true.
talked about this.
guy. Yeah, but so he's in this area. He and his companion are walking home late at night, and he swears by his life that aliens came down into the field while they were there. Like, we don't know what to make of it, but he just swears that they were aliens.
All right.
He's like totally normal dude.
It's those little magnet things. Oh, they move a lot faster now that the level starts.
Yes. So there are buttons. I think you just slowed it down to regular. So that's regular
is
speed.
there a time limit or is it?
There's a time limit.
Whoa! They just
Um,
like break you through the.
Yeah. Yeah, so you see you press this button and they speed up. But you press the other button and they slow down.
Okay. Did I push it? Yeah. Ow! Dang it!
I think I know a secret to this level.
Is it just immediately go straight?
I think so.
Let me see it. Oh my gosh. Why do we try in this game?
Well, we tried. JJ just doesn't
Okay.
finish.
I just go in and I jump 3 times and go over the entire maze.
Do.
This is a good level too.
I don't want to keep asking questions where like I have a story because I don't know if this is
Just
like,
tell a
anywhere.
story.
Jamaicans have a very, very interesting way of giving directions. Oh my gosh. Left.
There's a ceiling on this slide. It's a tube.
Oh.
I don't think you can get in.
So, if did you guys get a lot of like media referrals? Like,
Yeah.
I got one.
I didn't at first, but then like 3/4 of the way through my mission, there was just an explosion of it, and I think the church just paid more money for like advertisements or something, and people started clicking them. But whenever we got a media referral from Salt Lake, it was, you know, American sister missionaries that were like, we met this lady on the phone, and she loves Jesus, and she loves the Bible. I couldn't tell what she was saying, but she said she lives by the mango tree. Do you know where that is? And we're like, every
tree.
corner in this entire island.
Every tree is a mango tree.
But for the most part, people don't have addresses. They say the name of the neighborhood that they live in, and then they give you landmarks. And it's always like, sometimes it's like this type of fruit tree, but sometimes it's something ridiculous. It's like, go street past a man with black shoes and no feet. I one media referral, we called the guy and we're like, me live by the water. He's like, by the ocean? Because we were in an area that was nowhere near the coast. Like, no, by the water and the road. Like, huh? And so we go to his scheme, his neighborhood, which has like 600 houses in it, and we look for water. And after an hour and a half of searching, we find a pothole that is filled with water in front of his house. And he comes out storming out to us, and he's like, what took you so long? But then, like, there's all these different terms that, like, the Jamaicans just know. That's how they describe directions. But they never use right or left. If the road bends, but it's... If the road turns, even if there's an option to go straight, but, like, the main, more traveled part of the road turns, that means you go straight round. You go straight. You go straight. So, multiple times when I'm talking to someone as they're giving me directions navigating a mountainous road, they're like, you go straight, no turn, you go straight. It's like, all right, we're going straight. And then 2 minutes later, it's like, okay, we reached this landmark, there's a mango tree. And they're like, why didn't you turn? It's just like a completely different system, completely different vocabulary. And if you don't know, like, you know, old man Steve that lives in the corner, or you don't know where the water is in the road, or you don't know the nearest ackee tree, you can't find your way to your investigator. I guess the other common thing to say is, ask anyone, them tell you. And so you have to ask every corner.
That usually means they're really not interested.
No, that's what I thought. But it's just a cultural thing. It's like, that's how people get around, because there's no addresses. You get to the neighborhood, and then you ask for this person. They're like, oh, they live that way. And then you follow that direction, and then you ask again. They're like, oh, they go down that turn. You go look for this landmark, and then you just keep doing that until you find your way.
Moral of the story, area books make way more sense in places with addresses.
Yeah, and like, every single one of my areas, I spent too much time on my computer on my mission, but like, I found a web application that would let you customize the colors on Google Maps, because you couldn't do Street View and there weren't street names on Google Maps, but you could get a... Whoa, I'm not going for those bananas.
You're supposed to go straight, Cody.
You could get a decent
Jump,
idea
jump,
of
jump.
where the roads were. Do it, I want to see it.
Do it, jump.
Right now.
Jump,
Enough
right now,
time
right
to
now.
come back down.
Right now, you still have time. Jump! It's gonna get smaller, just jump.
It's alright.
Throw it into
I have
fire.
I have the high ground. You did it. Is there a replay? Oh, it's not just save replay. I want to jump on that. I want to see if it like carries me all the way.
You can
a way-
retry it.
There's a way where you can go select specific levels.
Okay. Oh, I want to go on the roulette wheel. Is that a thing that can happen? or
I think
is
that
it
might
not?
be a different level. Just like in the back.
Can I get there, or will it kill me if I?
I
kill you,
bet it'll
but-
kill you.
You know, you can try.
Okay. Well, I'm not going straight anymore.
You
so
should
I
get the
have
bananas.
I have my own goals. Oh my gosh. If I hold down, it launches me back down, but...
It's because you're not controlling the monkey, you're controlling the stage.
I was just holding forward.
It's because
right.
you control the stage. You're not moving down. You're literally flipping it back up to where the monkey
That
is.
last part, I was holding forward the whole time, and you just click replay?
No,
Are you
I want to go for it.
The roulette wheel or the bananas? Or just jump? Okay. I think it will, if you just let it, it might like let you go all the way down. Are you going up?
Oh my gosh!
That's a good bounce. I'm amazed you're not dead. Do it again. Boink.
Well, Cody, you can do the level. We've gotten so much into this one level. Get the bananas, get the bananas. You got it, you got it.
Try the roulette wheel.
Can you go down the level this way?
Oh, I missed it.
It's
Maybe.
certainly faster.
Ready, go!
Wait. Oh, I thought that was...
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what?
Okay, where's the wheel?
You just gotta get momentum and then just veer left.
I'm just going left right now. Oh. Well,
Ready,
I left my dream.
He died as he lived, playing roulette.
Which direction are you going?
Yes.
Alright. I think I've had my fill of these levels.
Okay. I just liked the one where I bounced back up.
So I don't know if we talked about this last time. We asked, like, what did you do on P-Day? And we talked about, like, internet cafes and what that was like.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do for fun on P-Days?
Got groceries.
What is
from? I had a companion that would always take a nap, and it was annoying for me because I'm like, no, I'm just sitting here.
If I had fun on missions, I'm not trying. Oh my gosh.
Yes, so don't go that way.
I think they all do
the
that.
faster way. You just picked the faster way, Cody.
Wait, that's perfect.
Oh!
The goal is flat. You
You
can
missed
fall
it.
into it. I had one area where, one new mission area, like he was way into D&D, so he was a dungeon master for us every once in a while. Where'd the stage go?
I have a funny thing. You tell your story then.
Well, I don't really have much of a story. Like we just had fun playing D&D sometimes. Like sometimes we play sports, but not very often.
So we went to a bookstore once,
Uh-huh.
and we found this board game. And we were like, it was like New Year's Eve or something like that. And we needed something to do because we were going to be in the apartment for longer than usual. And we were like, great. So that didn't work. We were like, great, let's grab this board game and we'll just play this. And I still have it. And reading the booklet, it's the Filipino version of chess. Except the booklet for the game is this crazy conspiracy theory about how this game existed before chess and chess copied this game. And it's really, really funny. But essentially it's chess, except you don't know what the other pieces are.
So that whole thing's included. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can do it.
Yeah, so it's chess, but you don't know what your opponent's pieces are. So like that could be their king, that could be their queen.
How do
you don't
you-
know? You have to you have to watch.
Is it
how
kind of
they
like
do.
Stratego? Like there's an icon on one side of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I think it might just be ripped off Stratego. Shh.
But it was still before chess.
I've never played Stratego,
Oh, okay.
but I've heard people say like, "Oh, is it like Stratego?" a lot. But it was a lot of fun, and that's probably like the most fun, unique P-Day thing that I have.
Okay.
1 week, I was the zone leader in a zone, and we wanted to do a zone activity, but I didn't have any fun ideas. So I made, if you guys have ever watched Survivor, I made like a Survivor challenge where I took all of the chairs in the gym at the church and I made a maze, and I had all the elders bring like an extra tie, and we blindfolded everybody, and you had to go through the maze, and your companion would guide you through the maze, which was really good for like the companionships with like a Filipino and then like an American that just like entered the mission. But you had to go through the maze and you had to find all of the tokens. And then when you got the tokens together, each token had a letter on both sides, and it was just cut of paper, but you had a letter on each side. And when you got that, you and your companion then had to solve the puzzle. And the puzzle said Elder Thorley. But yeah, that was a fun thing that we
Oh, that looks fun. Can you get on top of it?
with the jump button, most likely.
Oh, but they're sloped. It's just making it.
Alright, Mitchell, see if you can ride the ride.
Doing it.
JJ's like, I already know what you can and can't do.
Okay. Did you guys have any crazy?
So you can, it's just when it comes down, it's complicated.
Oh, if I just stay close to it. never
Yeah,
mind.
you.
Okay, how many jumps do you think it takes? 1, 2, 3.
3.
Are there any crazy situations with your
One,
with like
two.
where you lived in your apartment?
I mean, besides the time where we had no water.
Did you have like crazy landlords? Did you have like rats or
Oh,
maggots
we
or
had one time
cockroaches?
where we locked the bathroom door and then left and closed it, and so we were locked out of the bathroom. And one of the elders was like, I was about to take a shower, I'm naked. And we found a way to like climb through the window, except the windows had like bars on it.
Oh, hey, that's how it was. Where I was.
Yeah, and we took a ton of coat hangers and we made like this fancy like hand like cloth thing, and we managed to turn the door on and get into the bathroom, and that was fun. I was so tempted to just close the door again and be like, okay, we've done it once, can we master this principle?
Oh man.
But I decided it'd be better to let the other elder take a shower. That was when we were in an apartment with 6 elders. And
Those houses are fun,
we had
but
the,
you never get a quiet moment.
we had the showers mapped out like by the minute, where an alarm would go off every 8 minutes in the morning, and when the alarm went off, it was time for so and so to get out of the shower and the next person to get in.
Oh, really? We had like 2 people do their studies before getting ready, and then 2 people do like the normal schedule where you get ready and then do studies.
We also had a coffee maker in that apartment,
Hey.
and it would take as much time as a shower would, and so we would heat up water in between the showers and add it to the buckets, because we were just using like a bucket for a shower.
You like click through the stage when you do that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I mean, it's not going to squish the monkey. The monkey has to live. You can't make a video game about monkeys and then
I
just kill the
see.
monkeys.
So
Well.
in one of my apartments, across the street from us,
Oh no.
there was a unnamed denomination of church that had services every Tuesday.
Is it unnamed because you're not going to call them out, or is it unnamed because they didn't have a name?
I am not gonna call them out.
Okay.
Because there are other like I've met other like congregations of this specific denomination that they aren't rude and crazy like this. But every Tuesday they would have a service from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. across the street from us, and it was the type of church where in order to receive salvation you had to experience what they called the anointing, which other churches call like receiving the Holy Ghost, where you spaz out and yell a lot. And so there would be like loud music and people screaming from 10
Well
to
done.
2.
You know the map, you can see what's above you.
Apparently.
Yes,
Oh,
but
no.
I wasn't looking at
No,
it.
it was really
I didn't even think of that. So eventually it got to be too much for us, and we may or may not have pirated Surf's Up and listened to it at a higher volume than the church, because we were so used to the script of that movie that it would help us sleep because it drowned out the church across the street. And it's like, it was weird how big of a deal people made out of like experiencing the shaky shakes that some denominations interpret as the Holy Ghost.
Oh. That went fast.
Oh my goodness. Oh wait, no, never mind. I was gonna say some would not move.
No, we're just on different tracks.
Nice.
You can make that jump. I love how we've got these levels that are simple in theory, but we just want to like blow through them as fast
Yep.
as we can. So Cody's getting them all because he'll be cautious and careful and slow. But Mitchell, you and I are just like, we'll jump over the gap.
Well, you guys hit the button.
Yeah.
And notice how
I
recently
did
the
it on
tables
purpose.
have turned as who's actually beating these levels now.
Oh, it's loading the menu. It's gonna have us select a new. Oh no, it's
I'm
loaded
sorry,
World
what?
3
You think
underwater.
you have the... I'm doing it.
Just cold straight, yeah.
I'm still close to the middle.
There's one way to go straight.
Yeah, that didn't seem very straight to me, Mitchell.
All right, we are about out of time.
Okay. I have just enough time to beat this level.
Okay, Cody, what do you have to say about two people who are? We asked for people who are preparing, thinking about a mission, for people who are scared about going on a mission. And I can't think of any third category.
People who should be scared to go.
People who should be
People
scared.
who should be scared.
What can you say that will instill fear about a mission?
Yeah, I mean, I think like you're never gonna be perfect as a missionary. You know, you're still kind of a kid. Like, you know, you're not gonna be perfect. But you know, just doing your best is like all you can ask for. But I feel like for me, right before my mission, I did a semester of college, and at that point, I was like, whoa, going on a mission, you sacrifice a lot. Like, I won't be able to go to this friend's wedding. I am gonna miss out on this. You know, lots of things where I was like, you know, 2 years is a big deal. But when I came back from my mission, I really was like, you know, that wasn't a sacrifice, that was a privilege. And so, you know, whatever you're giving up to go on a mission, it's gonna be more than worth it. And whatever fears you might have, like, it's okay to have fears, but you're gonna do fine.
I love that. It's a privilege, not a sacrifice.
I mean, you do make sacrifices, but you definitely get a lot more out of it.
It's a privilege and a sacrifice.
Yeah.
But when you're done, you look at it as a privilege.
Well,
Cool.
that's it for today. Thanks for being our guest.
Yeah, no
happy
worries.
to have
Thanks
you.
for playing some monkey ball.
Yeah, of course.